It is another great time to have you tune in anywhere around the world. But let's start today for your time by telling you that with high-tech developments evolving in all spheres of human endeavor, agriculture remains key to the survival and well-being of mankind. That is why the federal government is leveraging on technology for agricultural research and production to enhance food security. First established in 1971 under Decree No. 25, the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria was in 1999 backed by revised Decree No. 44, which is now an act. The Council's mandate is to ensure effective coordination and supervision of the more than 30 agricultural research institutes and various federal colleges of education across the country. The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, led by the Executive Secretary, Professor Garba Hamidu Sharubutu, is striving to take agricultural research, training and extension services to the next level. The Executive Secretary, who equally represents Nigeria on the Board of Trustees of the African Agricultural Technology Foundation, is on reshaping democracy to respond to citizens' inquests into ARCN service provision.
My name is Abdullah Abakar Gwandu, a lecturer with College of Business and Management Studies, Kaduna Polytechnic, Nigeria. Professor, sir, how does the National Agricultural Research Council oversee the activities of Research Institute, Agricultural Research Institute and agricultural colleges in Nigeria?
Well, thank you very much for giving us this opportunity to highlight some of the things that the government, through the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria and by extension, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture are doing in fulfillment of the Hope Renewed program of the president of this country. The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria is an organization that is vested with the responsibility of supervising the various agricultural research institutes. And through this supervision, they will be able to generate enough information about their activities and pass it on to the government as a way of advising the government on general policy of extension, policy on training, as well as research. By implication, our role is mainly to be able to look at the 16 agricultural research institutes and the 16 colleges of agriculture and fashion them in such a way that the farmer down there in the rural area will be able to benefit from the research and the research products that come out of this research institute. Now, what we do is that we organize the Agricultural Research Institute into various commodities that are predominant in the area they are located. So the commodities we have generally are grouped into 1, cereals, 2, root crop, 3, livestock, 4, fisheries. Then we also have 3 crops like rubber, cocoa, and oil palm. Now, through that, we'll be able to get information from them in terms of their productivity, in terms of their researches. And then at the level of the board of the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, we'll be able to synthesize this report and take them to the Honorable Minister for advice. So principally, we have 4 functions. Number 1 is to make sure that we produce new varieties. Number 2 is to make sure that those that will be responsible for taking these new varieties to the farmers are trained by us in our federal colleges of agriculture. Number 3 is for also our institutions to have an extension unit that will be responsible of going from one place to the other within the framework of the Nigerian society to educate our farmers on how to handle those varieties. And 4, to be able to drive massively the production of seed that are coming from our own research institute, mainly the early generation of foundation seed, so that the farmers out there or entrepreneurs out there will be able to multiply those early generation seed for the use of the public.
Name is John James. My question to the Executive Council is, how does the Council facilitate collaboration with international organizations, especially the International Food Policy Research Institute, to advance food security and agricultural research in Nigeria?
Nigeria, through the ARCN, is also a member of the Board of Trustees of the African Agricultural Research Foundation. Now, this CGIR, that is Consultative Group for International Agricultural Research, is a parent body, is an umbrella body for various international organizations, like the IITA, the Institute for Tropical Agriculture in Ibadan, is a baby of the CGIR. The Africa Rice is also a baby of the CG. The IFPRI, that has to do with policy, is also a baby of the CGR. So all together, including ICRISAT, all together, even though they are domiciled in various regions as the headquarters of those centers, these centers actually render services to member countries. In Nigeria today, we have the presence of ICRISAT, and they perform mainly within the Sahel Savannah region, especially in Maiduguri. They have the millet research. They are also responsible for other different cereal crops. The Africa Rice, we have our institution that they work together at Badegi, at the National Cereal Research Institute. They also work together with the Institute for Agricultural Research in Ahmadu Bello University. So as members of this organization, our responsibility is to make sure that we are able to receive the need for some of these services.
I want just to ask, what strategies is the Council implementing to improve the food security in Nigeria, and how does these strategies align with the country's national development goals? Thank you very much.
The Honorable Minister for Agriculture has agreed with Mr. President that there are some certain deliverables that he will be able to deliver. And in achieving these deliverables, he has decided to classify them into 2 major products. Number 1 is stable crops. That is those crops that we are going to consume it, and if we have plenty, we send out. The second one will be the cash crops. But for now, we are concentrating on the stable crops. And the Honorable Minister has insisted that will let us talk about quick maturing crops. Those that will be able to produce, if possible, within a year twice. And that is why the Honorable Minister is encouraging the issue of dry season farming, so that we don't just depend on rain-fed agriculture, we also are going to depend on dry season farming, such that throughout the year we will be able to do that. And if you will recall, just recently in Calabar, the Honorable Minister went and launched the dry season farming for 2024-2025 dry season session, and it is on. Distribution of materials have taken place. And in fact, in order to make sure that food security is there, through massive production of food, already mechanization of agricultural activities is taking place. One of our research centers is at the forefront of developing various equipment, and that is the National Center for Agricultural Mechanization. There is already a directive by the Honorable Minister to make sure that all our research institutes, including universities of agriculture, use their land to produce early generation seed. Seed is very, very important. In fact, it's one of the most important input as far as agriculture is concerned. These seeds are developed at the level of our various research institutes. Now, the directive is this seed can only come massively if entrepreneurs are able to produce this seed in quantum. The National Seed Council, Agricultural Seed Council, has been rejigged and put in place to make sure that these seeds are viable. Now, in order to get enough seed, the Honorable Minister has directed that we should have our regular seed planning. By regular seed planning, we'll be able to, right now as I'm talking to you, we'll be able to know what is the land that is available for us to farm. The Agricultural Research Institute have also been on their toes trying to make sure that all our various extension units are put into function. The extension unit of each of the colleges in each of the Agricultural Research Institute has been mandated to open up outreach centers. These outreach centers are loaded with various personnel as well as equipment for training and retraining of our farmers.
My name is Afolabi Lukman from Mushobu here in Osun State. I'm a civil servant. With the increased advancements in agricultural technology, how much funding are the research institute receiving to stand in the test of time?
In the last 4-5 years, we have been receiving 100% of our allocation. But that does not mean that this money is enough. At the exit of the last regime, the National Assembly actually came up with a bill on the National Agricultural Development Fund. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, immediately he came on ground. He ensured that that fund has been implemented. He has, of course, appointed an executive director, executive secretary. Work has started seriously. And of course, if you recall, just recently, when we had the blight, the ginger blight in Kachia, it was the fund that actually came up and intervened. The fund has now gone round to all our agricultural research institutes and colleges. The fund has been able to do a baseline as well as needs assessment of our facilities. The fund has budgeted money in order to make sure that all our obsolete equipments are going to be brought back to full function. So, apart from our regular budgetary allocation, we also have this fund that has been created to make sure that our activities run fair. Apart from that, the memorandum of understanding that has been signed between our research institute and international donor organization, facilitated, of course, by the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria, has made it possible for more funds to come. Funds are now coming for us to be able to implement our program. It will surprise you to know that there are certain members of the National Assembly, senators and House of Reps, that are sponsoring the establishment of outstations for us. Outstations especially for cocoa, for palm oil, just recently, using the instrumentality of our spin-off company.
Sir, how does the Council promote innovation in modern agricultural research and development? And what initiatives are in place to support the commercialization of research findings?
Just recently, ARCN has established what we call the Renewed Hope Agricultural Technology Adoption Program. This Renewed Hope Agricultural Technology Adoption Program has just sprung up. We invited the Honorable Minister. The Honorable Minister has actually commissioned it. He has made sure that they are now up and doing. Now, we have made it a point of duty to also key into the program all home a garden program of the First Lady. We are keying into that program. We are trying to make sure that the RATAP, as we call it, is responsible for ensuring that all our technologies are at the doorstep of all the farmers. RATAP is going to do that. They have already started. They are right now discussing, they have a program now. They want to discuss with the Honorable Minister of Education to make sure that some of our Unity secondary schools are being used to propagate our own, innovations. But our hope right now is on that RATAP, that is the Renewed Hope Agricultural Technology Adoption Program, to be able to reach out to various farmers. As it is now, RATAP is already in about 3 states. We are in Niger, we are of course in Abuja, and we are taking RATAP to Plateau State.
Executive Secretary, sir, what role does the Agricultural Research Council play in promoting the rural development and the poverty reduction in Nigeria? And how does its activity align with the country's rural development policy?
Yes, you know, the rural development lies within the purview of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. You know, we are called Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. So rural development is still a department under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. Now, as ARCN, as a research institute, what are we supposed to do? The National Agricultural Extension Research and Liaison Services is an organization that is responsible for both extension as well as generation of data. Now, through generation of this data, through research, we'll be able to know what are the difficult terrains that we have in this country. And during the annual performance evaluation that is handed over to the minister and read to the whole country, these are where our research findings in terms of the development of the various rural communities are. But more so, like I said, we have our rural centers, the agricultural extension hub, the adopted villages, the adopted centers. All these ones are located within the rural areas. So by interacting with the farmers directly, we'll be able to know some of the problems of our farmers and then relate them to the Honorable Minister, because it's part of the deliverables of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. The deliverables is very specific, that we must collaborate with states and local government in order to achieve this. And when you talk about rural development and you mention local government, you find out that there is no way you can develop the rural communities without liaising with the state and the local government.
Dr. Iliberaton Priye, I'm from Yenegua. Prof, sir, how does the council facilitate the transfer of knowledge and technologies to farmers, processors, and other stakeholders in the agricultural sector, and what benefits have accrued to these stakeholders over time?
The Agricultural Research Institute, like I said, again, they have what we call the spin-off companies. These spin-off companies are not meant to be contractors. They are meant to propagate whatever seed or varieties they are able to produce. Now, with the spin-off company that has been created, the instruction is that we must look for the private sector to incorporate into our activities. So each spin-off company belonging to a research institute has its own contact farmer. It has its own off-taker. And through these off-takers, we'll be able to reach the rural community. Yes, we are supposed to concentrate on the issue of research, but these spin-off companies are independent but integral part of the various agricultural research institutes. So we propagate our activities through them to make sure that these spin-off companies are also business-like. In fact, we are introducing the business conscience now into our own activities in order to be able to reach out to the farmers so that farmers will be able to see the benefit of what we have. With the promotion of off-takers of our own technology, these will easily be actually achieved.
Sir, my name is Eric Mike Yoduba Yenegua from Bayelsa State. What are the key challenges faced by the council in managing the research institute and measures to surmount it?
People are taking over some of the farms that were actually donated to us. This is something that is of challenge to us, and we'll always call on our communities. We sit down together with them, we deliberate together with them, and I think that through deliberation and the intervention of the minister, at times the Minister of State, at times the police, at times we use the traditional rulers together. But this issue of land and reclamation of land that were voluntarily donated and paid to us have actually been one of our greatest challenges because we need to expand our operation. And if this land given to us are being tampered with, not even by those that donated, because some of those people that donated were people that lived even before we were born. But their children will come up and begin to look for that land and say it belongs to their forefathers and all this. And I think the Honorable Minister is tackling that through his collaboration with members of the National Assembly that come from that area. And of course, there are areas, for example, we are also trying to set up a Federal College of Agriculture in Ugbinigbiri in Bayelsa State. You know, it's also another very, very difficult terrain. We are trying to get the college started, but funds to kickstart our colleges of agriculture that have just been approved has always been a problem. We have one new college of agriculture in Jigawa State. It has not taken off. We have the one in Bayelsa. It has not taken off. Just recently, Mr. President has assented to one Federal College of Agriculture in Katsina State. These ones have not taken off. Why is that so? It's because we have not been able to actually generate money. So apart from having money to kickstart some of our research institutes, and then the issue of land, the third order issue has to do with lack of interest in the private sector to invest in educating our younger ones. Why did I say so? You have private polytechnics, you have private universities, you have private colleges of health. There is today no single college of agriculture that is sponsored by an individual. And that is because maybe the private sector may not be interested. All colleges of agriculture are either sponsored by the state or by the federal government. So that is really disturbing us. But again, through the extension platform that I'm talking about, we are trying to get our private sector, those that are truly in love with us, those that love agricultural training. We have somebody already in Kontagora that is collaborating with us to start a private school. We have the immediate past chairman of the APC is also trying to have a training center. So with our activities, the constant activities and enlightenment on our television, we have received some number of applications from people, private sector, who want to come into agriculture.
Right now, we believe you now know what the Council stands for. Ensuring the complex activities of the critical agricultural research institutes and colleges translate into sustainable agricultural productivity and food security. ARCN is strengthening the roadmap to innovative technology application for agriculture and agro-allied interventions to stimulate economic growth. Surely. I'm Ayodeji Makinde, and that's Reshaping Democracy. The program is back same time next week. Bye-bye.